Some cars lose value slowly, but these four, they're falling off a cliff. A $100,000 futuristic truck losing tens of thousands in value, a luxury SUV built on aging technology, a Mercedes EV getting crushed by discounts, and a Jeep hybrid facing serious reliability concerns. These aren't old, forgotten vehicles. They're 2024 models, and their resale values are already taking a beating. Today, we're breaking down 4 cars that could cost their owners thousands in lost value and why the market is turning against them so quickly. If you're thinking about buying one of these, watch until the end, because the worst depreciation story is still coming. Number 4. 2024 Tesla Cybertruck. Remember when the Cybertruck was supposed to be the vehicle that changed the entire car industry?
The Cybertruck sometimes conflates different with better, and yet it is a surprisingly functional conversation piece.
Tesla's futuristic pickup wasn't just another truck. Early buyers treated it almost like an investment. Some were even hoping they could buy one, drive it for a while, and sell it for more than they paid. But that dream didn't last very long. The Cybertruck's resale value has taken a brutal hit, with some examples losing roughly half of their original value in a surprisingly short period of time. And that's a huge problem when you're talking about a truck that could cost around $100,000. When the Cybertruck first arrived, demand was intense. Limited availability created a sense of exclusivity, and some early examples reportedly changed hands for prices far above MSRP. Then Tesla started increasing production. Suddenly, the Cybertruck wasn't nearly as difficult to find. Inventory began building up, and the scarcity that helped create the original hype started disappearing. And once supply increased, used prices followed the same direction. That's where things get ugly. Owners of expensive Foundation Series Cybertrucks have reported trade-in offers in the $60,000 to $65,000 range, depending on mileage and condition. Imagine spending around $100,000 on your futuristic dream truck and discovering that the market may value it at only about $60,000 a short time later.
You can always buy a used one. Our corporate cousins at Auto Trader show an array of barely used examples available at massively inflated prices.
One owner with roughly 32,000 miles reportedly received an offer of just $60,000. That's not normal depreciation. That's a financial cliff. The biggest lesson here is simple. Hype doesn't always translate into long-term value. The Cybertruck may still turn heads everywhere it goes. But when it comes to resale value, the futuristic truck has already traveled a very painful road. Number 3, 2024 Infiniti QX80. At first glance, the Infiniti QX80 looks like exactly what you'd expect from a $75,000 luxury SUV. Big body, big presence, powerful V8, 3 rows of seats. But there's one number that makes this SUV extremely hard to justify on the used market.
Infiniti already showed us the QX monogram, which is previewing the next generation. Some new styling updates. You can see this is a big vehicle.
Depreciation. The 2024 QX80 can lose around 50% of its original value in less than 2 years. On a $75,000 vehicle, that's roughly $37,500 disappearing from your investment. So why are buyers running away from it? The problem starts underneath the luxury exterior. The QX80 is based on an aging platform that traces its roots back more than a decade. In other words, you're paying luxury SUV money for technology that doesn't feel particularly new. The chassis, driving experience, fuel economy, and overall architecture are showing their age. And then there's the elephant in the room, the redesign. When shoppers know a completely updated model is coming, the current QX80 suddenly becomes much harder to sell. Why spend serious money on an SUV that's about to look old next to the next generation? That's exactly what hurts resale values. There are also concerns surrounding Infiniti itself. The brand has been cutting models and dealing with a shrinking dealership network, giving used car buyers another reason to think twice. And then comes the V8. It sounds great, but this isn't a cheap-to-run family crossover. Fuel consumption can become a serious ownership expense, especially when you're already paying luxury car prices for maintenance and repairs. Put all of those factors together, and the QX80 faces a brutal resale problem. Some estimates suggest that after 5 years, an example could retain only around 1/3 of its original value. And here's the painful part. A huge portion of that depreciation happens before the SUV even gets old. The QX80 may still look expensive sitting in a driveway, but on the used car market, that $75,000 luxury SUV can lose its luxury price tag surprisingly fast. Number 2. 2024 Mercedes-Benz EQB. A Mercedes badge usually means one thing: you're buying something valuable.
Number 1 is when the EQ models came out, there were a higher price point than some of the equivalent models from Mercedes-Benz.
But the 2024 EQB tells a very different story. This compact electric SUV started around $55,000, yet some examples have lost close to half of that value in a surprisingly short time. That's roughly $27,500 disappearing. So what went wrong? Mercedes launched a huge lineup of EQ electric vehicles, but demand didn't grow fast enough to absorb all that inventory. Dealers had to get aggressive. Thousands of dollars in discounts and incentives started appearing on brand new Mercedes EVs. And when buyers can get a new luxury EV for heavily discounted prices, used versions immediately become harder to sell. The EQB also has another weakness. It wasn't developed as a dedicated electric platform from the ground up. Instead, it shares its roots with the gasoline-powered GLB. That approach helped Mercedes bring the EQB to market, but it also created compromises. Range sits around 240 miles, while efficiency isn't particularly impressive compared with newer EVs. And American buyers had another reason to look elsewhere. The EQB didn't qualify for the full federal EV tax credit under the applicable rules. That made some competitors financially more attractive from day one. Then came the lease deals. Mercedes used aggressive incentives to move EQ models, and when those leased vehicles eventually returned to the market, suddenly there were plenty of nearly new EQBs available for much less money. And that's the nightmare for owners. A vehicle that cost around $55,000 when new can quickly start looking like a bargain on the used market. The EQB isn't necessarily a bad SUV. It's simply caught in a brutal combination of heavy discounts, limited range, intense EV competition, and falling used car prices. And that's why the Mercedes badge couldn't save it from a massive depreciation hit. Number 1. 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. The Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe looks like the kind of SUV people should want. Luxury, power, plug-in hybrid technology.
2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. This is the plug-in hybrid version of Jeep's best-selling vehicle, the Grand Cherokee.
But behind that impressive package is a resale value problem that has become very difficult to ignore. The 4xe can lose roughly 51% of its original value, turning a nearly $55,000 SUV into a vehicle worth around $27,000 surprisingly fast. And depreciation isn't the only problem. Reliability concerns have made the situation even worse. Consumer Reports placed the Grand Cherokee among the less reliable vehicles for 2025, and stories from owners haven't helped Jeep's reputation. One Michigan couple reportedly took legal action against Stellantis after their brand new Grand Cherokee 4xe developed serious problems. At one point, the SUV allegedly lost power while they were driving on the freeway. Think about that. You spend tens of thousands of dollars on a brand new SUV, and then you suddenly have to worry about whether it will keep running when you're behind the wheel. The problems didn't stop there. The owners said their vehicles spent around 8 months at dealerships during a 39-month lease, with one repair followed by another issue. And when a vehicle spends that much time in the shop, resale value takes a serious hit. There was also a major recall involving more than 91,000 Grand Cherokee 4xe vehicles, related to the possibility of sudden loss of power. For used car buyers, that's a massive warning sign. People aren't just asking, how much does this Jeep cost? They're asking, how reliable will it be after the warranty ends? And that's exactly what destroys resale value. The Grand Cherokee 4xe may look premium on the outside, but when reliability concerns, recalls, and heavy depreciation come together, buyers start demanding a much lower price. And if you think the Grand Cherokee 4xe is already bad, thanks for watching. Click here to check out another video and make sure to subscribe to Car Mindset.